People are extraordinary for two main reasons, so we believe in closing opposition. For the first thing is an internal drive, something that makes them go the extra mile, that makes them go over every hardship they have to face, that make them read research after research, that make them go 30 years researching cancer in order to bring a certain cure, that make them stay up all night to write a symphony that doesn't quite suit, and because they don't know what the note in the fifth box should be. This is first. The second is an external drive. The external drive is not exactly what Rebecca is talking about as conditions. We think it's the cooperations, because it's easy to remember it's easier to remember Beethoven or Picasso, but it's quite hard for us to remember that the Guernica that Picasso painted was created because of political circumstances, or that that Beethoven's music was created because of cultural tendency to emphasize music, or that the Human Genome Project was created as a cooperation between hundreds of universities all across the globe. So we think that these two components are key for every extraordinary person to be extraordinary, and we think this is exactly what's missing from the proposition today, and this is why this entire debate in the utilitarian measure that they want to create is falling. 2 points of rebuttal. The first one is, why would he have poor lives? For instance to that, first of all, he's being forced to do something that he might not really want to do from the age of 0. He's being trained over and over again to read numbers or to write music. It might not be, if you agree with first proposition that it's not exactly the same person, but a different person that we have to raise from the top, then he's probably have different tendency. We completely reject your saying that genes control exactly who we are. As I already answered to you, I have a twin brother, he doesn't even like poetry. Secondly, as I've already given enough POI to the Prime Minister, the mere understanding that your entire existence is not independent, that the only reason you are brought into this world is to serve a tool, is to be a tool, to serve a purpose for someone else, is a hard thing to realize. On the individual level, it's hard for people to think about the fact that they were brought into this world to be an organ donor for their brother. It's obviously hard for you to realize that the entire reason for your mere existence is to bring good into society. We don't care who you are and what you want. We only care what you can give to us. Thirdly, it's a horrible sense of betrayal. Thirdly, if it will be less good than the original, you will always obviously feel bad about it. And yes, they are not exactly slaves, but we think of them as military cadets, in which you force them from the age of 0 to be indoctrinated to a specific role in society. So yes, they're probably not going to be very happy about it. I'm going to move on to my first point, how internal motivation as the key to great success. Because what opening opposition brings you is you cannot recreate circumstances to be successful individuals. What we're talking about is the bigger component, is the internal drive. It's something that even if you can create the circumstances, without it, a person would never be this extraordinary person. So, we think that in order to persevere in front of all the hardships, if you want a person to be extraordinary, that means he has to go through a lot. He has to train and learn and do over and over again. This internal motivation is the passion that you have towards a certain thing. This is the thing that would cause you to research the same subject for 30 years without any success. It's the thing that will cause you to practice 10 hours a day on your piano in order to hit the notes in the perfect sequence. This is the thing that would make you want to do this, to be better at this. And what we're saying is, this is something that clearly you cannot instill in the clones. Why is that? First of all, why would they even care? The fact that they have been cloned for a genetic material of a person who Mike was interested in that is not a sufficient answer. We think that internal motivation is created from inspiration from someone you have admired, or your friends, or an internal sensation of fulfillment. We think that the fact that you have a certain gene is not enough, because as already explained, we need a certain conditions, you need a certain sense inside of you.
Specifically on that.
No, thank you. We think that if throughout my entire life I've been told you should be interested in this, this is what you were brought up to do, I might be good at it. I might be very good at it. But it doesn't mean that I will be passionate about it. I will probably be okay with it. I will grudgingly do it. But it doesn't mean I will be extraordinary. It doesn't mean that my contribution will be the extraordinary contribution that opening government is basing their entire case, their entire utilitarian case on. And this internal motivation is the key. Because without it, I'm just another good at it person. And of those, we have quite a lot in our society when we don't need to clone and to breach our moralities for that. Secondly, how advancements are made as a production of cooperation. Because we think that extraordinary individuals, we remember them quite well because, well, they stand alone. Well, it's easy to remember Einstein, but most of the people in this room don't know who Niels Bohr was, and he's the person that working with Einstein and not working across him. Come on, and through discussion and dialogue, he pushed Einstein to excel. We think that the intellectual achievements of these day and age are a product of large and small corporations. And already we've heard that political and cultural conditions are unreplicable. We think that the more important are the interpersonal connections that are unreplicable, the cooperation that is needed. First of all, the family, the support system that a person needs in order to advance, in order to be that extraordinary person, to have a figure in your life that gives you inspiration in order to move on. But more importantly, if every project of today, the intellectual world of today in universities, the cooperation of a lot of universities, so every university is going to order for themselves an Einstein, yes, I can.
Under current incentive systems, if I know my genius will only be recognized in 100 years, there's no incentive for me to work. When I promise you eternal life, that is the incentive.
Everybody knows who Stephen Hawking is, everybody appreciates him. I don't see a reason why we can appreciate our geniuses of the day today. We don't need another 100 years in order to appreciate their achievements. This is off the table. We think that what we're raising, what proposition, if they're succeeding, even if they succeed in instilling this internal motivation, what they're raising is a generation of people who have been told they are the best, they should not need anyone else, they don't need the cooperation of anyone. And this is simply false. Even though they are extremely good, they need the systems of support, even if it be the intellectual systems of support given them by university, by colleagues, by people who work for them and with them, and they need the systems of support of their families, of their friends. And these are things that the government is not giving them, and something that without them, they're simply not able to succeed, not able to overcome all the obstacles that they would need in order to be the extraordinary person of the day. And because of all these reasons, and for the children, we beg you to propose.